Hola mi gente, it's Tia Juana, and we're going to continue our Hispanic history. I want to get back to the 50s where there were signs in Texas that said, no Mexicans, no dogs. And there was a curfew for Mexican Americans that was enforced by the Texas Rangers. So times were tough, and when the civil rights movement came, we were ready for that. And a great leader emerged from our people, César Chávez, a humble leader that came from the very roots of the people he served. César formed a union for the humble farm workers that picked the lettuce and food for our table, that were being paid minimal wages and living in substandard housing, working in the hot sun with pesticides. And across this nation, we had a lettuce boycott and a grape boycott to let the growers know that this was not an American thing to do. It was not justice. A great woman leader also arose from this, Dolores Huerta, who coined the term "Si se puede," that has become a rallying cry for Latinos across this country. It was the Chicano movement that got started, and then organizations began to emerge. The National Council of La Raza, our first national organization that exists today as Unidos Us. Aspira, which was started by a wonderful Puerto Rican leader, Antonio Pantoja, that worked with Hispanic youth across the country. Mecha, which was started in universities because finally we had enough Latinos in universities to have our own organization. The 60s were a turbulent time, but a time when justice and equality and many of the values that we aspire to were being promoted. And Latinos were in the forefront of this. Latino women were also part of this movement times, and the National Organization for Women was started. We would go on in the 1970s. I was the first director of Mi Casa Women's Center in Denver. Mujeres was started in Chicago. Both of these organizations are still thriving today. So the women's movement, the political movement around the Vietnam War, the farm workers movement, the civil rights movement, were all coming together to create a more equitable and inclusive America, and Latinos were at the forefront of this fight.